Hi, everyone. Welcome back to Expansionscapes, to this video on the rune Nauthiz. I hope I'm pronouncing it right. So today we have a person with us who is completely new, Darius Zurek, and Lindsay, who has been with us in the previous rune. Lindsay is a shamanic healing practitioner. Darius Zurek is a part-time pirate.
What at this point, what aren't I? Part-time shaman, part-time pirate. Well, I don't know how the career with the piracy is gonna go. Definitely a magician, part-time shaman, magician, teacher, mushroom connoisseur.
Yeah, the life of teachers is usually quite diverse, and very, very diverse. So to check out the reason why we're doing this, I would suggest going into the links in the description box below, so I don't say the whole reason and the whole intention for this project. And without further ado, I suggest we dive in. Okay, that's one thing I want to say, that so before we gathered here, we all connected to the rune Nauthiz, like intuitively, psychically, however you want to call it, and we didn't share anything with each other. And I personally enjoy the not sharing and then sharing like this, so it's always kind of surprising but also magical in some way. So Lindsay, how was Nauthiz for you? I hope I'm pronouncing right. Maybe it's not. I don't know. I'm gonna say Nauthiz.
I actually asked, and I think it was like Nauthiz. I don't know, something like that, because I didn't know either. But I realize now that I'm reading back and looking at my notes that I did not do much dissecting after that night. So now that I'm reading it again, I'm like, some of it's a little bit hazy. So we could just try to figure it out again.
Yeah, you'll probably get into the energy as you talk.
Yeah, there's... I noticed whenever I was exploring with it, I felt... I know the gist of what I read about was just the one word was hardship. I still don't know the rest. I actually forgot to go and look what the rest of the things that it touches on. But I know, like my experience, I felt it was like I was taken back to like this childlike energy, and I felt like a lot of, like I was being internally belittled. I felt very sad, very shut down, unworthy, almost like a little kid and you're getting scolded. Had a lot of rough emotions coming up, like I will never be enough, never amount to anything. And it just felt like I was being shamed. So that was interesting, because it was very strong. So for me, it was very, very much like a childlike, and maybe that's a lot of like where I had hardship in my life, was a lot of like childlike wounding coming up. So I also noticed that my daughter kept interrupting the class, of course, or my class that I was having with the rune. She kept interrupting, and I'm just reading my notes. So I noticed I felt disrespectful, is what I wrote. I felt disrespectful, and Nauthiz said, I am disrespecting myself for things out of my control energetically. And I didn't understand that at first, but it was like a aha moment. When things are outside of my control and I'm being interrupted and chaos is happening around me, I go into an internal state of disrespect. So I thought that was almost like the state of like self-punishment, because I can't control it. So that was interesting for me to discover. I asked about the shape, and because it's like almost like a crossroads is what it reminded me of. And it says like it was marked for conflict, marked for disagreement and conflict is what it said. Then another thing that came up for me, I noticed like with the childlike stuff is I got a lot of like cartoon like characters. Like there was a one-eyed duck and it was very much like I was being shown like an inner child limited perspective with the one eye. And this is the part that I was reading over again and I didn't quite understand. Like I understood it then, I do not now. So I was given a clear egg with confetti inside and I said, thank you. And he got like this cartoon duck, like I'm seeing, let's see, he got mad and said like, you don't like it. I was very like offended that I didn't like this like weird gift that he gave me. And the egg opened and it was a turtle and an elephant inside, which also were cartoon characters. To me, the elephant represents like old ancient wisdom, maybe like forgotten memories, things that are still there. That's what I'm getting right now. Yeah, the message that I'm getting right now is we don't outgrow the memories. And then with the turtle, that is just the obvious answer for me. And that has always been is just this energy of like chill, flow, slow down. Yeah. You don't have to fly by the seat of your pants is what I'm hearing now. So yeah, I mean, that's the gist is it was very much inner child wounding, conflicts, being involved with conflicts that I don't have to be in anymore. Yeah, that wraps it up for me with what I got.
Yeah, thanks. I'm getting some connections with tuning into what you're saying. It's pretty cool.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah, so Darius, would you like to share yours?
Yes. Yes, there's quite a lot. So
yeah, me too. I get quite a lot too. I usually go last. I try to anyway, yeah. I'm curious, what did you get?
Yeah, so it all started on even before I even knew Olga and everybody else right now attending. I didn't know Lindsay or Stefan, so I didn't know anybody. And on the 23rd, so the day after the 222 portal or whatever, I was reading a book about manifestation in that, and I've decided to do one of the exercises in that book, which was to write a letter to yourself from 5 years, 5 years to upfront to now. So basically, writing from the perspective of 5 years in the future, as already my dream have already been accomplished, to right here, right now. So in that letter, as one of the first thing I said, again, I just channeled. I just didn't think. I just wrote. And one of the first thing I said is that I'm going to go through a lot of pain, through a lot of hardship before I manifest the thing that I want. But that would all be worth it. So that happened. Then I went on to a workshop that Olga and Chelsea, I believe, Chelsea have been running about connecting to
your guides.
Connecting to the guides, but and also it was the idea of connecting.
Yeah, it was more than that.
Yeah, it was very beautiful. And very very powerful. And what I got from the meditation from the actual event was that I felt that there was some sort of like like a hardship or something like that. But I felt in it. I felt this pain, this thing, and this thing turned into a rose. So I had that experience. So I'm guessing from that experience, Olga invited me to join the Rune thing, because she already felt that I was in the energy of whatever is going on with her. So here I am. So which is all connected with the Rune itself, because what I read about the Rune is going through the difficult situation, go through the difficult stuff in order to get the bigger results in the future. That's what I understand this Rune to be, as one of the things, and this is the occurring pattern that has been happening for the last probably week. Over a week now. So after this, we've had some chats about the Rune itself, and I had like crazy synchronicities on the way from work, but I had I think 12 different registration numbers, patterns coming up, and I was like, all right, I don't know what's going on. And that day I was supposed to be having a date with someone, but that didn't turn out good. But synchronicity, this, that, and the other. Instead, the universe guided me to do a guided, a different workshop that someone else was organizing, like a free workshop. And from that workshop, it's like when there was another meditation, another synchronicity from that, and I felt so much pain in my heart. It was like almost unbearable. It's like I felt like thorns in my heart, and like my heart bleeding, and the whole thing, the whole event, the whole situation left me so heartbroken and like so low, and I was like start swearing and just like I was releasing all this anger, I was feeling all those emotions, all this rejection, all of them. It's just everything that I thought I've already dealt with came to the surface, which I clearly haven't. So that's why it did. So I can challenge it, I can look into it, I can find ways to be able to release it. So that happened, while also like other crazy registrations came as I was going home. Literally, I went the first registration 333, which means growth, followed by 123 meaning you're at the right place at the right time. And I'm like, all right, cool. And then I think another registration after that came, which is also like 123 or 012 or something like that. I'm like, all right, then cool. I get it. Okay. I needed to have that experience. Okay. I didn't like it, but fair enough. So that happened. After that, I was kind of devastated and stuff like that. I needed a day to rest. After that, later on the next day, or I think at night, I realized I've got £300 in my bank just from nowhere. I'm like, okay, then, thank you. So again, pain, pleasure.
Yeah, before you got the money, you were like saying that, oh no, like it's all going really bad. So at first there was this going down, and then there was this going up.
Exactly. Yeah. Like, for example, the I don't have a date. Oh, there's a free workshop about like spirituality and like very high downloads and this, that, and the other. And I'm like, again, pain, pleasure.
Yeah.
So that happened. Then the next day I got a completely new, challenging student. He was quite challenging in his own way and stuff like that. But also like bringing a lot of stuff about like being a mirror to me as well, because a lot of his behavior is how I am showing to the world a lot of the time, which is very fascinating to be able to witness. So it's like a great mirror, uncomfortable mirror, but good mirror. So that's that. And then after that, I think that was the day before yesterday. I was guided to start summoning the energy of Odin. So I did the and I was like, because I was so tired of all these experiences, but the energy told me to keep pushing, keep going forward, don't stop. So I was guided so I did a little ceremony in calling Odin. After I did that, I had such a bad pain in this area here, in my stomach area, which is solar plexus chakra, which is to do with action and stuff like that. I developed so much pain. I felt like I was going to die. Right. And I couldn't sleep at night. I couldn't sleep until like 2:00. And eventually I was like, I had enough. That's it, And I took some paracetamol. I went to sleep and I had one of the best sleeps. I had one of the best dreams probably ever, where I had like crazy adventures, crazy let's just say loads of sexual experience with different partners. It's like but everyone was okay with it, and it was just crazy, right? So I had this dream after feeling like I was almost gonna die.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, all right, so that's the Odin's energy. Hello. All right, fantastic. So that happened, and then today, there's a reason why I'm wearing this, by the way. I thought, which is also to do with the Odin's energy, because he lost an eye in a sacrifice in order to get the knowledge, as Olga know, and I'm sure a few other people know as well. But anyways, what happened today? I got given this as a gift, and a sword. And a ship. So I've paid like £20, and I gave it to charity. And I put that money into like a raffle ticket, and this is what I got back. So I don't know if this is Odin or universe telling me that I should become a pirate from now on. I have no idea, but I'm embracing it at this point. So this is where I am. This is my adventure, and it is a lot of synchronicities, especially to do with this particular symbol. I forgot the name of it, but I felt like all of the experiences I had that I've mentioned today are related in some way, and I felt it's to do with like going through a difficult situation and then receiving a reward after. So I felt like this is So that's me.
Yeah, I like how when you connect to something, you kind of really, really feel it through the physical world. Because like I mostly go to the non-physical and connect there. And actually my intention is like, I don't want to experience the physical pain and the physical suffering so much. And thanks to you, I understood that, like, the reason I like to do things underwater, so to speak.
Yeah,
you got the ship. You're on top of the water. You're in the physical.
Yeah,
I'm more underwater because I wouldn't be able to handle that pain, and I don't want to. Like a stomach ache or something like that, or really terrible things happening. I'm just like, I'm done. I don't want this. I'd rather deal with it like non-physically. And Lindsay was saying like she forgot a page of it. Which was relevant to the fact that she forgot.
Yeah. So it was actually Odin that reminded me, because he said, work smaller, you'll get taller. Right as we were wrapping up. And I was like, oh shit, I forgot a whole page that was relevant to that. And I was like, I know that we talked about that for this last one. But I normally, like, when I begin it, do like the rune activation with Odin. And his message was that my values are changing and it's in the winds. So what I got from that is like the communications are going to be different for me, which I hope soon, but that's also relevant. So big lesson here I learned was delay. And that's why it was delayed, that I missed this whole page. So I felt a lot of resistance to the healing of this rune. My feet were being washed. I noticed like that I was being led, like my feet were washed. I was changing my footing. And how, like, I remember being shown, like I was being shown a mountain. and like my feet, I could not get footing at all. And I asked for help, and he said, all you need is different. You need more stable ground to work on. So I felt like this huge wall of resistance in front of me, and then my feet were slipping. Like I couldn't get any traction. So we traded out this slippery footing for boots. And I noticed like the entire wall of resistance, like I asked for help and it just completely resolved, and I could see, or dissolved. I could see everything in front of me. I felt very grounded. And then I started noticing my polarities in the situation. On one side of myself, I was not paying attention. And then on the other side, what was brought forth is nitpicking at every detail. So one part of me is very aloof, and the other part is like very attention to detail, hyper focused. So then I was getting a lot of help bringing that into balance, into a more mindful observational state. But the biggest takeaway that I had for this whole thing was Odin said that small steps, pay attention to the small steps. Every small, paying attention to the small details, like I have been, but it felt like different. I could feel the energy shift. It wasn't like I was strangling the details to death, but rather I was able to observe the small details. And I was able to notice the subtleties, notice differences. He said, pay attention to these small details. After you take one small step, look around, observe, and look at the differences and the changes that come after each step, rather than like, I'm usually off to the races, which is why turtle's always relevant to me, because I'm like sprinting around and don't often pay attention to the small details. So that's something huge that got worked on for me. And it stayed in my system. I worked on this about 2 weeks ago. It stayed with me for like the whole next week, was small, intricate details, subtleties. So I'm not sure if that's relevant to Nauthiz or not. I didn't look into it. Maybe that's just something to help me overcome. I don't know.
It feels like it's your thing that was being worked on through with this energy. Like, I feel like Darius has his own stuff he's working through, and like the rune, this energy of Nauthiz is like a trajectory or something. Like for you, it's the details, it's your stuff, but it's like that kind of. And his is different issues, but it's also like that. And mine will be, because I know what my stuff came through. So now I can separate it. It's like, oh, it's my like karma, it's my issues, my shadows, my stuff that I need to heal. And it's different from both of you guys. I mean, obviously, naturally, but it still has like that same energy of, down and up. Do you catch what I'm trying to say?
Yeah. What I heard was you're exploring different aspects of the same ship while you were talking, is what I heard.
Same ship?
Different aspects of the same ship. So like a boat.
Oh, the one that Darius has, yeah.
Yeah, like we're all in the same boat.
Oh, okay, I got it. The different aspects of the, okay. Yeah, and the thing that you were talking, so Darius was supposed to get the ship to have the visualization happening for, I mean, I'm joking, but I was, when you were talking about the details and the little shifts, like ask a question, I mean, like do something small and then look back. And I was, at the same time you were talking about that, I was like, oh, I wonder, like for Darius, when, because for you, this process was quite transparent. And I wonder, like for him, when he was going down, did he do something or did he follow any internal advice or whatever that came through that made the thing go up?
To be honest,
I guess that's the key, I think.
The thing is for me, because I do that naturally anyways. So I, whenever I am in the down spot, I usually follow my inner guidance on what to do. like, for example, when I felt like the absolute tremendous emotional pain, what I did was I just imagined like I'm seeing this light coming above, and just realigning all of my chakras, especially the heart one. So I did that for the emotional pain. For the physical pain, when I felt my solar plexus literally burning, absolutely burning with the thing, I just imagine, again, because I felt so much physical pain, it was really hard for me to focus. But with whatever I had, imagine like I'm healing it, and the next thing I know, okay, I just need to take some paracetamol because I have enough. That's it. I'm taking action because which is, again, this chakra is all about action. So I took action. For the emotional pain, I just to be honest, I don't know what to do with it. I just went to sleep and just needed rest. And I had loads of like just confirmations that I'm doing the right thing. So that gave me reassurance that it's okay for me to feel like that. So just following the guidance. And also for the physical, I needed to take physical action with that. And I think that's that.
Yeah, so I guess I'm gonna share my thing.
Go on.
My thing was kind of like more visual with like, I don't know. We all got visual stuff too. Oops, sorry. Mm-hmm. I had like a lot of resistance to working with this rune. I didn't even want to connect to it at all. And I wanted to actually like skip it in this whole project, because the first rune I wanted to skip, because I thought like, I don't want to go into this, because I just read like need, hardship, fear, and I'm like, I think,
all the good stuff.
Yeah, so I was thinking like I can cheat the whole process by skipping it and going to the next room. That's it, And that didn't happen. I actually started to feel more of this energy, I guess, because I was resisting it. And like in the physical, we're having problems with like selling our car right now, and like which keeps breaking. And we just keep fixing it and trying to sell it. And then as we already found a buyer, it wasn't broken immediately, but like we found out it needed more fixing. So now it's fixing. And it's like this kind of energy of just like never ending problems, like one problem after another. And I got just really, really, and I just realized, and it was in other aspects of my life too. And I was like, I think, and it was also in my creativity, because I'm trying to finish. I'm trying to get back to writing my books, which is a number of books, and trying to get back to my projects. And I'm just like having so much resistance sitting down and doing it, that I felt like it's all the same energy, and I can resist it and go deeper into darkness and suffering, or I can just actually connect to it and figure it out and just do it. So I did. And even in the meditation, I really didn't want to connect, and it kind of felt it. But I got that I had an image of like poverty, scarcity. So I felt like a mirror effect, like you mentioned, like a mirror effect that for some reason, like when one is in poverty or something, there is lack of various things like food, money, maybe opportunities or whatever, however you're feeling scarcity. And I was showing like, well, you're actually manifesting it, but why? Like, why are you manifesting scarcity? It's like, because you actually have no desire to create those things. So they're not there. And then the big question is then, what is your desire? And why are you not letting it out? Because why don't you feel happy and abundant? Because apparently there's a desire that's like being blocked. And they're saying like, if you open that desire, then kind of like everything else will go into balance too. So I was shown this image very distinctly in my face, which I guess is called. I'm trying not to like read up on stuff, so as much as I know, this is also called Odin's cross. And the way I saw it was like the circle is behind. It was like a wooden circle, and then there was a wooden cross, which is a bit in front of the circle, and in the middle there's a hole. So it's like it felt to me like the wheel of life, kind of like the wheel of fortune, or even like now I'm getting like that steering wheel of the ship. And it's like the 4 seasons and the 5 elements of the 4 section and the 5th one in the middle, and the 4 winds, the medicine wheel. It's like north, south, east, west, all of them. And I always ask like every detail, like why is the cross over? Why is the cross kind of coming out of the circle? So I've come across that before, and it's because it's continuous. Like if it was all contained in the circle, for me it would feel like this is a complete system that is stable and it's not like changing. But if those lines are sticking out, it means it's always in the process of growth and change. So then I was shown, for this particular rune, I was shown the meaning. I'm like, what is the meaning of this symbol for this rune? Because I received this symbol for another rune as well, but the meaning was different at that time for that energy. So I'm like, what is the meaning for this energy? And I'm seeing like the circle is like our soul that had a desire for incarnation into this body, into this physical body. So then the cross to me represents the physical body because it's like material. And so the circle is like the specific desire kind of that my soul had when I wanted to become Olga in this physical experience. So that's why it's like this, it's contained. Like this desire wanted to be Olga. And then there's Olga as the cross on top, which is kind of like I'm just seeing it like as a focusing lens or something. There's a lens, and then it gets more focused as the cross. And in the middle of the cross, there's a circle, which is empty. And I see like golden light coming out of it. And I'm just seeing all the kind of empty spaces as something that I'm going to work through so that I can get to the circle and the light can flow out of it or shine out of it. Kind of like the point of the incarnation. More like the bigger circle is like the question, and the smaller circle is like the answer as an experience. And so I asked, for me, what is it? And I was given like my karmic healing for this, which was, I was shown part of it is fear. Part of it is like it was separated like that. Another part was depreciation. So like my karmic healing is about fear, also self-depreciation, like deprecation when you push yourself down, like shame, embarrassment. And then another part was self-appreciation, depreciation and appreciation, which was and also they said self-achievement. And then, which is kind of opposite of self-depreciation. And I felt like it's about confidence and value, finding value of myself to myself. And the other part was chastity. And I saw it as the, like something that I was through many lifetimes. I believed that one should have no money, no possessions, no ego, like no desires, no nothing. Like you should be such a pure saint that doesn't want anything, doesn't need anything or something. So it was like it's something in my karma that I needed to heal, because I need to actually, like in this lifetime, to want stuff, to want stuff and to have stuff and to experience, enjoy stuff. And it was shown to me that in the workings of that karma, it's like that's the shitty part. That's the suffering part, kind of the hard part. You will find out the middle part will start shining. It's like you will get your answer to why you incarnated in the first place. And it felt like also like like this whole circle was full of wind. And the wind was coming in and out, and it was like wind from these parts was going out, and this one was going in from me there, and then it would change to opposite. And yeah, it was like wind changes because of temperature changes. And then I saw that temperature, like hot temperature, is a place in my soul which has very, very big desire for something, like a big yearning for something. And cold is when you don't want it anymore because you've had enough of that experience. So then I was shown that those 4 big parts, which were still hot, would become colder because I healed them, and it would change the wind of that system to allow the new thing to come through. If I'm being kind of clear enough. Confusing. Okay. Okay, another way it came through to me like that. Let's say I was hearing like acquired taste. So let's say a person that never tasted alcohol in their lives, like wine or beer, you would give them wine or beer, and then the first time they would try it, they would be like, like, that's disgusting. I don't know why would ever anybody want to drink that.
Give them rum instead. Sorry, that's just pirate coming.
Or even whatever drink like that. Probably the first time anybody tries it, they go like, "Man, that's disgusting." And I was hearing like acquired taste, and I was feeling like the middle of it. They're saying you're spending your incarnation to acquire the taste for that middle thing that will like go out and shine out. And I was hearing like it's a umami taste. Do you know what is an umami taste? So there are like 5 tastes, right? So they were saying like first you play with the other 4 tastes. After you kind of had that, then you can have like umami taste come through and you can appreciate that. For example, like that. Like an alcoholic beverage which tastes horrible first, or to somebody like broth may taste like not interesting or something, or miso soup or something, and then it can, but you gotta like acquire the taste to like something. And and then I just thought, okay, let me Google it. And then I found this picture of like a mouth with the tongue. And it was just like a same image of that. It was like, apparently on our tongue, we taste things at different places. So like, this is where we taste bitter. This is where we taste sour. This is where we taste sweet. And this is where we taste salty. And the umami is right in the middle. Kind of like the image of the explanation of acquiring taste for something. And another example was like hunger. They're saying, imagine like the more you don't eat, the more you acquire the importance of the fact that you gotta eat. Until the moment when, if somebody offers you like, do you want $1 million or do you want to eat? Most of us would go really far for $1 million, but then imagine how great the hunger needs to be for you to say no to the $1 million and to take the food instead. So they were kind of showing me of this deep dive of basically it's a process of developing taste, the growing the desire for something specific, why you incarnated here. so that you can actually have it, because you can only have it after you realize that desire at the strong enough level to actually manifest it. And another image came through, was like a rocket that was going, and then it was changing gear, like speed. It went like faster, and then a whole bunch from the, what do you call it, a container or something that's empty from fuel, they have to like throw it away. I don't know, what do you call that? Anyway, the fuel tank gets disconnected and you throw away the old stuff and you can go faster. But you only got here thanks to actually that fuel that was there in the tank in the first place. And now, but I felt like the first, yeah, I guess it's like the chicken and the egg. Did you get here because of the fuel, or can you go faster because you lost it? I don't know. But I guess that's why it's a circle.
An important process to go through, I think.
Yeah. And then I asked, like, what kind of people, like, when do I connect to this rune? Like, for what purpose? Like, what kind of problem do I have to have so that I can't? Oh yeah, it was like related to my project. So I'm like, I really refuse to go and write my stories or paint or continue my books, because actually the truth this rune showed me is because I don't have that taste yet. Like, what exactly do I want it for? What exactly do I want to create? And I'm beating all around the bush, but I can't get the clear answer. And they're like, yeah, you are beating all around the bush because you're about to get that clear answer of why you're doing it, for what purpose, and what do you have to say, and why you want it. Like the realization that I have that desire, which is worth more than $1 million to me, or that I would eat rather. I would write rather than take the $1 million kind of thing. So they're like, this rune helps you to stop beating around the bush and get to the point, which I guess I'm kind of doing it while I'm talking. I'm just beating all around the bush instead of getting to the point. So I asked, like, what healing powers this, or whatever, what kind of people should go and ask for this rune's healing or wisdom? So they say those people who are almost about to give birth to something, or are beating around the bush, or almost there, but they just can't do it. And in Russian language, we have a saying like that. It's kind of dirty saying. Wait, something like stop. Oh yeah, in English you have that too. Like, anyway, in Russian it goes like stop caressing your boobs and get to the sex already. Kind of like this.
So what's the meaning? What's the meaning behind it?
In English, you say stop chitting about, right?
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So they're saying. So I was given like, well, you go to this room to stop with the last bullshit and get to the damn point. So I asked for that healing, and I still didn't get why I'm doing this, even this project actually, and why I'm writing all my books exactly, and why I'm painting, and why I'm doing everything. But I feel like the reason is about to come through. But I really need that reason to continue, because I know I want to do this, but I don't know exactly why. So they said, yeah, that's the point of this energy, is to get to the click of the up, down, and then up. And then I asked for like why it has this symbol. So I just saw like a stick, like a pencil, and it was raining all around. And it was just like, it's again like beating around the bush. Like, there isn't any focused energy. It was just like rain all around, and it's going to the whole land around. But if you do something like that, then the water starts collecting here, and then it starts going to one particular spot, and it's just going to be really focused there. So then I was getting like, again, get to the point, focused point, stop beating around the bush. Stop tooting about and get to the point already, or like give birth already. Oh, yeah, that's the thing in Russian language too. We have that. If somebody is being very slow at getting to something, somebody can say, come on, give birth already, like this.
Oh, funny, I had a dream of my friend giving birth, but sorry, carry on in that space as well. Carry on, sorry.
Yeah, no, that's the last thing I had, but it was something about giving birth too. It was like, I've had recently dreams about giving birth as well. It was very scary because I don't actually want to have children in this life, but that's why the dreams of having birth is like nightmare.
Oh.
Lindsay, yeah. So that's pretty much all I got. And the dream was kind of like I was giving birth, but I didn't want to. And then they were like, the baby's already done. Like, you gotta let it out. And I'm like, I wasn't aware of this. And they're like, well, you could have been aware of this, and you could have been that could have been a more aware process for you, but you decided to ignore the thing that you were creating. So then you're just gonna see it as a big bang, like a shock. So it's like, it's your choice, but you chose not to look at what you were creating. So get ready to see the baby, in a more uncomfortable way. Now, so okay, because so I guess this is the process right now.
Because he was resisting the resistance, you got given a worse option. That's usually the case, isn't it?
Yeah. So it's like, stop resisting and just go with it.
Whatever happens, happen. Yeah.
So that's what I got from the room. That's the energy.
One more thing I wanted to say, because when you showed the wheel, it also came to me because I don't know if Chelsea's gonna join in. She just messaged saying that she's been drinking. So I'm not sure if she's
okay.
She's coming or not. But I just as I wanted to say, when you showed the wheel, one of the things that came to me, you mentioned, you wrote all those things, fear, disappointment. I don't remember specifically what you wrote, like whether judgment or something else. Whatever you wrote, that reminded me of what Tony Robbins has said. Have you heard of Tony Robbins?
I heard of Tony Robbins, but I never heard what he says. Ooh. I just know he's very famous.
Good.
Never learned anything.
Yeah, so I thought I show it to you. Basically, whenever you're steering a ship, that's why I said it as well. Whenever you're steering a ship and it goes and all of a sudden you notice that it's going in the wrong direction. It's going towards not the destination that you want to go. Sometimes all it takes is a 2 millimeter shift on the thing in order to change the trajectory of where you want to go. Is that little?
That's what I got.
2 millimeter shift of the course of where you're going in order to end up in a completely different place that you want to go to, which refers to just doing a little, and that comes back to what Lindsay has been saying as well, with doing the little things, that makes a massive, that might trigger, massive difference, or doing something small, focusing on something small and focusing on where you want to head to instead of where you don't want to head to. I thought I'll just leave it with that.
Oh yeah, and it feels like cool. you got to kind of figure out in the physical where you kind of do something, and those manifestations come about in the physical. And yeah, I do remember Lindsay mentioning it earlier that Odin told her little shifts in the conversation we had previously as well. Like, little shifts make big changes.
And that's what it is in the wheel.
Yeah. Olga, when your picture of the wheel, immediately, like I had a vision, like I saw it as a steering wheel on a boat. Of course, it's steering the boat. None of the words that you're saying like were relevant to me specifically. Like in that way, like all I could see, like for me, was like steering a boat, a big ship. But the captain of the ship, I noticed, was the pirates are very relevant today. And you're a really good mirror for me. So I went in the other room.
I'm just going with the flow. Carry on.
I went in the other room to turn on my daughter's show for her, and the first thing that came up were pirates, of course. So it's very much in my face where I need healing today. Very much.
Go on.
I noticed the person steering my boat was the octopus captain from Pirates of the Caribbean, like the cranky one, and there's like the big stormy waves coming, and I'm like, well, who am I allowing to steer my ship? So that's very much my what was brought up for me with that. And then Olga, I thought it was relevant, like the last class we did, and this was brought up. We said how we were all exploring different perspectives, like you shut out the lights and we're all feeling different parts of the elephant, but it's a whole elephant. But this part I noticed we're exploring different parts of the ship. So it's very interesting how like all these perspectives are coming together to create one whole.
Yeah, it's fascinating.
I'm noticing the big pattern overarching, like with these classes, or not classes, these get-togethers we're doing. Olga, you mirrored a lot of stuff.
They're not classes. They're not classes.
I know.
I always have.
They are though. But internally, do you realize that's a mirror for you?
Oh yeah, because I insist on not calling these get-togethers a class, and she insists on calling it a class. And
I think it's a class, to be honest, because
we're always learning.
We're studying a rune, but the thing is, the lessons are our own.
Yeah. But it's the same class, but it's different.
Right. Different parts of the elephant.
Go.
As with, so like when you were talking about like scarcity, and it was brought to my attention too that I do this, like I have very much like this Buddhist monk type of like as within, so without type thing that is like, I take a lot of, I notice with myself, like there's a lot of pride with this, but it's like almost like I worked really hard to get to this point. I could tell like in different lifetimes of like, oh, I don't need, really anything externally. I just, I'm happy with what is, and I can see like how I really worked hard to get there. And this was also something that was like pointed out to me a lot in my life, like, oh, you're such a good kid, like you never ask for anything and that. So I took that as like, oh, well, like if I just uphold, like just never ask, like this is going to make me good and I'm going to continue to be good. But then I'm like, the other half is like, I want this beautiful mountain house with like a huge garden, like on a river, and I want a new car, and I want all these like magical things to come in my life. So I need like this balance. Like so like good job to like the Buddhist monk within me, but like Buddha needs to also acquire like this cool house that I want and all these things.
You're so I have to you allow yourself to.
Yes. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay. So I thought it was just very cool. Like there's a lot of things were brought forth for me to heal during this. So very interesting.
Great. So what's the next room?
Actually, I don't know. Let me check. But I also saw the octopus, actually. I didn't write it down in my notebook, but it was like the octopus was doing different things with every leg or arm, whatever it is. And it's like, it was like, stop doing all that stuff. You're just doing it like as a distraction or something. Get to the head, what's the real important thing here, and I don't know, I just really have the octopus in my head a lot. I love the octopus, and the octopus always has a new teaching.
That's what I was seeing, like with the octopus steering the boat, like I forget if that's Davy Jones. I can't remember who the character was. I can't remember his name, but yeah, the octopus, it was very relevant to like beating around the bush. I had the same I loved when you were speaking because I was getting all kinds of insights from myself about like why. I just asked you guys yesterday with help with that. Like, why can't I just write right now? Like, why is this not happening? Like pulling a ball and chain and trying to write. And I realized like on some level, I've made it into like, it feels like I'm punishing myself in the process of writing. Like it feels like I'm going to do like a punishment almost because of how much I've been pushing and other things too that I don't know. I can't see yet. So.
Well, I hope we're gonna all get to the point, and
so
we're all gonna write. I'm gonna get to my projects. You're gonna get to your writing, and Darius, you're gonna get to that fun stuff that you were looking forward to in your dream.
Oh, yeah.
Or whatever it is that you.
Well, to be honest, I think what it is, because I wanted to focus on my business, and I felt like I was guided to focus on my business in a way. But I felt like I needed that experience to remind myself what came to me during my last ayahuasca experience. And when the ayahuasca told me, practically the energy itself told me that I need to buy a house. And in order for me to do that, I need to stay in my job. So so basically probably I think the energy is saying just to chill for now. Don't worry too much. The money's coming. I clearly, I don't need to worry about money. In terms of time, I've got time for myself, so I'll just enjoy myself for now. So I think it was just a reminder to focus on other things, like in that dream, instead of chasing the business and being worried and this, that, and the other, and blah, 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 blah. So just enjoy life. Enjoy the life of a pirate.
Yeah, with the crystal sword.
Yeah, well, I do actually. Funnily enough, I do have a crystal sword as well. But that's a different thing. I've got a bunch of stuff, but anyway.
I'm not surprised. But yeah, actually, like I did ask the Rune, like if somebody cannot connect to you and ask for your help, what do they do? What's your advice? And they said exactly that thing: relax and let go of the stuff that's not important. And then you allow the important stuff to come through naturally. And I'm like, well, I don't like this advice. I need stuff like, but it's like, that's the advice. And, take it or leave it, either suffer or relax. Yeah. And there's another Russian saying for it, but it's like very bad. And I won't
Go on. When you say that, I'll hear even more. Go on.
It's really bad, but yeah, I'll try to say it nicely. Like,
just say as it is.
If you find that like someone's already fucking you, and you can't get out of the situation, just relax and enjoy the sex.
Darius the pirate approves.
That is an actual saying. So it's like, it doesn't have to be about sex, but it's like anything. Like if you find yourself in a situation you kind of didn't plan for, but just enjoy it, relax and enjoy what you can.
Yeah, literally, I think it's a great advice in a way. It sounds fucked up, but
yeah,
I think it is a good advice. So instead of resisting, you let go, and same thing what I said, with the business thing, like instead of me forcing and like getting my life fucking me and saying no, you can't have this. Like, oh no, I was like, fuck it, just do what you need. I'll just enjoy it, I guess.
I'll enjoy the parts that I can find to enjoy. Yeah. Exactly.
I'll just focus on pleasure, I guess. I don't mind. Oh well.
There's a silver lining in everything. And speaking of silver linings, the next rune I found it. So it's better. It's Isas. Isas. It's just like one line.
Oh,
nothing. It's just one line, and the meaning is ice. So I don't know. The feeling of ice feels better to me than need. So I have like more motivation for that rune.
Ice is my
Ice is your home?
fire. Yeah, ice and fire. They're good energy.
I was going to work today and I saw some people, because I live by the sea, and I saw some people on the way to work literally coming out of the sea. And I was saying to myself, oh yeah, I'm not going to be doing cold showers for some time. I don't need to do that now. It's fine. And now you mentioned this. Thanks.
You're going to dive into ice if you join us for the next rune.
Thanks. Could you give a little bit more info than just the temperature, please?
I have no idea. That's what we don't read about the rune.
Can I please?
Kind of on purpose, so that when we do feel it, like it's nice to understand that, oh yeah, we are really all connecting to the same thing. And there is such a thing as that was actually my intention for the project. Like everybody can connect to like whatever intuitive stuff. You can do it. You don't have to only read it from books. You don't only have to listen from other people and trust that they know what they're saying. Even if they know what they're saying, everybody can connect to any energy, any soul, any consciousness they want to. And it just brings magic and wisdom and pleasure in life.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing you guys for the next rune. If you guys watched this far in the video, thanks for watching, and check out the description box below for all of our links, like Lindsay and I are shamanic healing practitioners. You can check out how to get a healing session with us or any other kinds of stuff, our books. And Darius, whatever you have going on.
I don't have anything because the business I need to stay in my job.
Okay.
So, but if you want to message me, I guess I'm available on Facebook and
for general wisdom advice. Yeah,
direct. Yeah, law of attraction, chakra, everything. So you can message me and have a chat.
Yeah, and if you guys connected to this rune and have something to share, please do share in the comments, because that's what we're doing here. Yeah, thank you guys so much. See you later.